Since Repair Clinic encourages you to perform this procedure safely, a warning icon will appear when you should use caution. Many refrigerator repairs will require some disassembly of the appliance. Before you attempt this, be sure to unplug the power cord. To reach components behind the rear access panel, you will need to pull the refrigerator away from the wall. Use a 1/4-inch socket or nut driver to unthread the screw to release the water inlet line coupler from the lower access panel. Unthread all of the screws to release the panel to access components like the condenser fan motor and run capacitor. To replace the fan motor, first pull the fan blade off of the motor shaft. Use the 1/4-inch socket or nut driver to unthread the mounting screws, securing the fan motor to the bracket. Disconnect the wire connector to fully remove the old motor. Install the new condenser fan motor by first connecting the wire connector. Position the new motor in the bracket and thread the mounting screws. Align the fan blade on the motor shaft, then push until it is fully seated. With the repair completed, reinstall the access panel. Be sure to secure the water inlet line coupler to the panel. To remove the water and ice dispenser control board, use a small flathead screwdriver to release the control board tabs. Depress the tab to disconnect the wire connector. If you need to replace the ice door assembly, first cut the zip ties securing the dispenser fill tube. Detach the tube. Now unthread the 4 mounting screws, securing the ice door assembly. You can use the small flathead screwdriver to help release the retaining tabs from the housing brackets to detach the old assembly. Release the wires from the retainer, then disconnect the wire connector. Install the new ice door assembly by first connecting the wire connector. Secure the wires in the retainer. Keeping the dispenser fill tube in the front, align the assembly on the housing brackets and snap the assembly into place. Thread the mounting screws. Position the fill tube. Use a new zip tie to secure the tube. Reinstall the dispenser control board by connecting the wire connector. Then insert the upper tabs into the slots in the housing and snap the bottom of the control board into place. To access control panel components, use a Phillips head screwdriver to unthread the screws, securing the control panel to the liner. Pull the control panel forward to release. You can detach the grounding wire and disconnect the two wire connectors for better access. If you do this, remove the screw to release the damper control arm to prevent it from breaking. If you need to replace the light switch, depress the plunger and use a flathead screwdriver to help pry the old switch out of the retaining slots. Disconnect the wires from the switch. Install the new light switch by first connecting the wires to the terminals. Now depress the plunger and insert the new switch into the retaining slots. Align the slot in the damper control arm with the freezer control cam, then replace the screw to secure the arm. Reconnect the wire connectors and reattach the grounding wire to the heat shield. Align the control panel on the mounting tabs and push it into place. Replace the screws to secure. To uninstall the auger motor housing from the freezer compartment, first remove the ice bucket by lifting up the front and pulling it out. Use a 1/4-inch socket or nut driver to unthread the mounting screws to release the auger motor housing. Pull the assembly away from the rear panel and disconnect the wire harness. Reinstall the auger assembly by first connecting the wire harness. Align the assembly on the support brackets and replace the screws. Reinstall the ice bucket. If the bucket doesn't slide all the way in, you can rotate the auger to allow the bucket to be fully seated. To reach components behind the freezer compartment's rear access panel, first remove the shelves from the freezer. The top shelves can be removed by moving each support to the center of the mounting hole, then slide the shelf to one side to detach. Slide out the lower bin as well. Now use the 1/4-inch socket or nut driver to unthread the screws, securing the rear access panel. You can use a putty knife to help lift up the panel to detach it from the mounting tabs. Pull the panel forward to fully remove. If you need to replace the defrost thermostat, first detach the old thermostat from the evaporator tubing. Pull the tab on the bottom of the harness connector to disconnect. Disconnect the heater wire connectors. Detach the evaporator motor wires and the grounding wire. Detach the grounding wire from the evaporator housing as well. Install the new defrost thermostat by first connecting the harness connector. Attach the grounding wire to the evaporator housing. Attach the evaporator motor wires along with the grounding wire. Connect the heater wire connectors. Clip the new thermostat onto the evaporator tubing. Reinstall the access panel by positioning the top edge behind the air duct. Align the slots over the mounting tabs. Make sure the bottom lip of the panel is above the drain pan. Then thread and tighten the screws. Replace the lower bin and shelving. To uninstall the freezer door, open both doors, along with the water filter cover. Pull the toe kick plate free. Disconnect the dispenser harness wires. Use the 1/4-inch socket or nut driver to unthread the screw to release the water dispenser wire retainer from the frame. Remove the retainer. Unthread the screw securing the wire connector support bracket. Next, unthread the screw to release the dispenser fill tube retainer from the frame. Remove the retainer. You can use a small flathead screwdriver to remove the locking clip securing the dispenser fill tube to the coupler. Use a 7/16" wrench to help depress the retaining ring to release the tube. Support the door, then use a 3/16" Allen wrench or a T30 Torx bit to unthread the 2 screws securing the upper door hinge. Remove the hinge and have an assistant help you to lift the door off of the lower hinge. To reinstall the door, first feed the wire harness and water line through the hole in the lower hinge. Align the door on the hinge and close. Reposition the upper hinge and thread the screws. Fully insert the dispenser water line into the coupler and insert the locking clip to secure. Realign the retainer on the tube and secure it to the frame with the screw. Position the retainer on the water dispenser wire, then rethread the screw to secure the retainer to the frame. Reposition the wire connector support bracket. Thread the screw to secure the bracket. Reconnect the dispenser harness wires. Reinstall the toe kick plate by aligning the clips on the plate with the brackets attached to the refrigerator frame. Then snap the plate into place. Close the water filter cover. With the reassembly complete, plug the power cord back in, and your refrigerator should be ready for use.